has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free.
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up, it got shoved, right?
I want to do some MSU predictions. Go Nikki, me, Trav for this one. We're going to do offensive MVP, defensive MVP, freshman MVP, and surprise player. So, Nikki, I'll start with you, and we'll start with offensive MVP.
All right. So I feel like if the title of offensive MVP doesn't go to Childs, that's a bad sign. Like that just means he wasn't that good. Unless like Nate Carter has an insane year. So it's hard to not say Childs for that. But I do think the actual most valuable player on the offense could end up being Tanner Miller. So I would say Childs. And yeah,
I heard you on that one. Yeah.
Go ahead. My dog's barking like crazy, Trav. Go ahead.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think Childs is the obvious choice here, but to take a little bit of a different approach, well, Childs is the obvious approach or the obvious choice. Carter's probably the second obvious choice. I'm gonna take a little bit of different approach and go with the little dark horse. And I think it's gonna. And this is just because he does all the dirty work. He's part offensive lineman, part receiver. I have a soft spot for tight ends. Jack Velling.
Nice.
Gonna change the I took him from you, didn't I?
Yeah.
His skill set is gonna change this offense. We've needed a tight end that moves like he does and works like he does for a while. And I mean, I've been on him all off season. But yeah, I think he's going to be the biggest game changer other than Aiden Childs in this offense.
Okay. I wanted on the record that my pick was also Jack Velling for all the reasons you said, Trev. I think we're talking about value. I think for a young quarterback, especially a tight end, especially one that he has a relationship with, I think really could prove to be a big-time player for us. With that being said, to avoid the repetitiveness, I'll go with Nathan Carter. I think he's kind of been – we've seen what he can do, but it's always been a little muted just because we haven't had a great offensive line. And to be quite frank, coaching to really get on last year was obviously a disaster. So I'll go offensive MVP, Nate Carter. That brings us to Nikki for defensive MVP.
Again, I'm going to go probably one of the more popular picks. He's been getting talked about all around in camp. People have always been high on him. I'm going to go Malik Spencer. I think this year is going to be the year where he really shows us what he's got.
Good call.
Travis.
You got me go second again? Okay. I will go to a guy who had is in a loaded position room, but had an outstanding freshman year last year, and that's Jordan Hall.
Nice.
Should have been a captain probably, but should have been a captain probably. But they picked other linebackers as captains. But he's the future of this defense, and I think he's going to show it whenever he gets on the field.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my pick this time. I also have Jordan Hall. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what Rossi does, maybe to bring off the edge a little bit. We saw what he could do last year as a true freshman. Obviously, very talented player on a strong linebacking unit. I think with the potential shortcomings at defensive tackle, I think it's going to be those linebackers are going to have a lot of pressure on them, especially stopping the run and getting pressure on the quarterback. So I'll go with Jordan Hall as well. Nikki, swinging it back to you for freshman MVP.
So I bet everyone thinks I'm going to go one way, but I'm not. I'm not going the obvious this time. I think our offensive line, in a way, is almost like a earn your spot kind of ways this year. Well, I don't think he'll be starting or anything because he's a freshman, obviously. I think that Andrew A.J. Dennis can end up being a contributor, a very solid contributor this year that gets us very excited for the future of our offensive line.
All right. I like it. I like that. That would be great. Travis. I'm not going to skip my turn this time.
Okay.
I also wanted to avoid going with the obvious route. I think Nick Marsh is one that we would all hope is the freshman MVP, and I think one will be the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Probably going to see the most playing time as a freshman and get the most opportunities. I'm going to go with defensive back Justin Denson. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Even though they did bring in they've got some depth returning, and they brought in some additional depth. But I think that's a unit that there's going to be opportunities, whether it's late in the game in a blowout, or due to injuries, or due to playing bad. As we've seen, we certainly have the ability to play bad in that unit. So another one, Rustin Young, also an offensive lineman. That's a group that I think also could get shuffled around a little bit too. I like Nikki's pick a little better, Andrew Dennis, but I will go with Justin Denson, and I'll send it over to Vis.
Yeah, I am going to go on the offensive side of the ball to a guy that was very impressive in the spring game, and Nikki and I talked about him after the spring game, and that's Brandon Tullis at running back. Our top two running backs are cemented with Nate Carter and K'Ron Lynch Adams, but behind them, we don't really know who's going to step up, and I'm putting money on him to step up there, just because it's basically between him and Mekhi Frazier. Frazier wasn't there for spring ball that I'm aware of, so Tullis has a leg up on spring ball.
I like that pick. That would be great if he kind of could cement that third running back spot. And again, like you said, they're going to get lots of there's going to be opportunity there for that third running back job because, two running backs is great, but the nature of college football in general, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be weeks when either Guy Carter or Lynch Adams is not 100%. So, and I love what I'm hearing and what I've seen so far with Brandon Tullis. Bring us to our last prediction here. Nikki, we'll start with you. Of course, surprise player of the year.
Man, there's so many ways we could go with this. You know what? I'm going to change my answer from what I originally have written down. I think a player who's going to surprise us, who we may have all said in the past has sucked. I think Alante Brown will be very good this year.
Damn it.
I like it. I am going to go with part of me just really wanted to say this. I'm going to go with the big worm, Ben Roberts, defensive tackle. Surprise player, the big worm.
Okay. Let's see. I was going to go with Alante Brown, but I'm going to change my answer here. I'm going to say go with Ken Talley, defensive end. Started some games at the end of the year. Very big. If you're following the Spartans on social media at all, you've definitely seen his tweets and everything. He's very big into the culture that's being built here and everything. So that enthusiasm and the fact that he was a 4-star recruit when he was originally at Penn State, I think that's going to translate on the field, and we need guys to step up at the defensive end spot.
One honorable mention I want to say real fast on my original answer, mostly just because Aiden Childs spoke really highly of him, but I'm going to say Wayne Matthews. I think it'd be great this year.
Yeah, I agree. That's another name that crossed my list as well. Another one, Chuck Brantley. I think that
I thought about that one too.
The last couple of days, there's been some good press for him. Rossi talked about him taking a big step forward. We've seen obviously can make a play. So it'd be nice to see if he can break out a little bit this year. All good picks all around.